Hey guys, welcome back to another haunted story. So I'm starting this series where I'm thinking every Monday and Friday I'm going to upload a haunted story for you guys and sit down and do my makeup. I really enjoyed doing my first one. It was super fun, so I kind of went and dug a little bit deeper into the haunted stories archives. Just a little disclaimer, all the products that I'm using today will always be linked down in the description box, so if you're ever wondering what I'm using, it will be down there. So let's just jump right on into it. Today's story is the possession of Annaliese Michel. So Annaliese was born September 21st, 1952 in Germany. Her parents were Joseph and Anna Michel. People also called Annaliese Anna for short, but we're just gonna call her mom in this video so that way we don't get confused. Annaliese grew up a pretty Catholic person. She was really devout Catholic. I mean, this girl just really strongly believed in her faith. She would go to mass 2 times a week with her family, and she just lived a really Catholic life. Everything seemed pretty normal for Annaliese until she turned 16, and this is when her friends would say that one day at school she just seemed in a daze, like she was just walking around like she was in a trance. And Annaliese had no memory of this whatsoever. Her friends were like, "Yo, girl, you good?" And she's like, "What are you talking about?" You know, like she had no idea what happened. They just said that she just looked like she was in a trance-like state. And she would brush it off, you know, like whatever, nothing, not a big deal. Until about a year later, it happened again. But this time she was in her room sleeping and she woke up in the same trance-like state, and her body started to convulse uncontrollably. She started shaking, she wet the bed, like she had no idea what the hell was going on with her. So after this happened for the second time, she decided that she would go to the doctor to see what was wrong with her. And the doctors diagnosed her with temporal lobe epilepsy, which causes seizures, memory loss, and visual and audio hallucinations. And then they would obviously prescribe her medicine to help her with her diagnosis. It seemed to be working for a while, but a year later, she ended up actually attending the university and going to school. But then she started to realize that her meds weren't really working anymore. And she was starting to get worse. Her symptoms were worsening. She was just getting sicker. Like, she just didn't look good. So once her meds stopped working, this is when she started to believe that she was being possessed by a demon. She claimed to see the face of the devil and hear whispers in her ear everywhere she went. She also said that when she would pray, she would hear voices telling her that she was damned and that she was going to rot in hell. So this is when she was like, all right, I need to get a second opinion. I'm going to go talk to a priest, because she really believed that she was possessed. She started to seek out help from 2 priests, and both of them had rejected her. Unfortunately, it's really sad. They rejected her and told her to go and get medical help. Well, she already got medical help and it's not working. And the priest also told her that they can't perform an exorcism without the approval of the Catholic Church, which is actually true. You can't have an exorcism without approval. So, I mean, she was just not getting any help. Annaliese and her mom would eventually find a priest that was willing to help her. His name was Ernst Alt, and he said, quote, she did not look like an epileptic. So he agreed to help the family and get approval from a local bishop to perform an exorcism. The exorcism was approved, and it was to be performed by a man named Arnold Renz, and it was said that it had to be done in complete private. No one could know about this. It had to be done secretly. Like, word could not get out about this exorcism. I'm not really sure why. Maybe they just didn't want to scare people, but I mean, it had to be done in complete privacy. Her exorcism was performed over a 10-month period. 10 months, gosh, this poor girl. That's a long ass time. 10 freaking months? Yeesh, kanish. So they ended up performing over 67 exorcisms on Annaliese, and each exorcism took about 4 hours. So you can imagine just how exhausted this poor girl was. I mean, 10 months, 67 exorcisms, 4 hours each. Like, that is incredible. That is insane. Annaliese was said to have ripped her clothes off her entire body and just thrash and flail around. She would sit under a table for 2 days barking like a dog. She would eat spiders. She bit the head off of a dead bird. She would lick up her own urine from the floor. Like, clearly something was up with this poor girl. Obviously. During the exorcisms, Annaliese had claimed to have 6 demons inside of her. Lucifer, Cain, Nero, Judas, Hitler, and Fleischmann. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm probably totally butchering it. But Fleischmann was a disgraced priest. Like, he did something that just pissed everybody off. So that's not good, especially if you have Hitler inside of you. The demons also were said to have argued with each other. Ooh, these are some crazy lashes. I can feel them in my eyebrows. Oh, but they are beauties. Back to the story. Sorry. So Hitler, being the little shit he was, said, "People are pigs. They think it's all over after death. It continues." Like, what the fuck? Hitler, get out of here. And Judas would argue back, saying that Hitler was nothing but a big mouth and he has no say in hell. What the hell does that mean? Oh, I shouldn't laugh, but it's just, they're just arguing with each other. Like, what are they, 12 years old? So Annaliese had broken bones and her tendons in her knee from getting down and kneeling and praying so much during all of this, which is really sad. And that just goes to show, like, how much of a devout Catholic she really was. You know, even in this hard time, she still found the energy to get up and still pray, hoping that it would help, that something would happen. Annaliese actually wrote a letter to her priest, and she said, I have to read it from my paper or else it's not going to come out. "I am nothing. Everything about me is vanity. What should I do? I have to improve. You pray for me." She also said, "I want to suffer for other people, but this is so cruel." To me, right there, that is pretty much saying that she wants the world to know her story, and she wants people to believe in possession and to realize that she was possessed and just get her story out there for the good of the people, you know? Which is actually really, really sad. Over the span of the 10 months during the exorcisms, Anna would sadly stop eating. I don't know if it was her choice or if it was the demon's choice. I don't know. Nobody really knows for sure, but she would eventually stop eating. This would cause her to get really malnourished and very dehydrated, and she would eventually pass away. After Annaliese passed away, sadly, this isn't where the story ends. Her parents and the priest would then be charged with negligent homicide. Like, they thought they were doing this to her. I mean, again, nobody really knows, but still, like, this was a whole ass court case. When the exorcisms were taking place, they were actually recording all of it. So you can hear the tapes and everything online. I'm not going to play them here because I just don't think it's just not for me. But you can go online and find the tape recordings. But they played them in court to help them win their case, and the court was like, nice try, but no. The priests were found guilty of manslaughter and sentenced to 6 years in prison. I can't do my lips and talk at the same time. It's literally impossible. Okay, anyways, back to the story now that I'm completely done. So I actually mixed that up. The priests were not sentenced to 6 years in jail. They were sentenced to 6 months in jail, which was then later suspended, and they got 3 years probation instead. And it was said that the parents weren't charged with any punishment or any jail time because they suffered enough, which apparently is like a law in Germany, you know, that is a punishment in itself, you know, what they went through. I mean, Annaliese went through so much shit. She was restrained for 10 months. I mean, it was just awful. This poor girl had 67 exorcisms performed on her that lasted 4 hours each. Like, could you even imagine how drained your body would be? Even if she wasn't actually possessed, just still, I mean, with the photos and everything, I mean, it's hard to think that she wasn't possessed. Oh my God, I don't even have words. Just this poor girl. I feel so bad for her. But her story created a lot of conflict around the world. So the people that were really close to her, like her friends and her family, they truly believed that she was in fact possessed. And other people had different opinions. Other people believed that the family and the priest really did neglect her and just left a mentally ill woman to pretty much just die. You know, they didn't request any medical assistance. They didn't do anything to help her, according to other people. The people that do believe that she really was possessed, they still go to her grave, even to this day, and they write her letters and thank you notes just for being so strong and getting her story out there. Annaliese kind of pretty much just became an icon. A movie was made from this story, which is The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I'm pretty sure everyone is very familiar with that movie. It's very scary. It's very intense. But The Exorcism of Emily Rose is Annaliese's story. I mean, of course, it's not 100% to a T, but I mean, all in all, it's pretty similar. So what do you guys think? Do you think she was really possessed, or do you think that the priest and her parents really did just neglect her and leave her to suffer with her illness and die? I don't know. It's kind of a tough one. I mean, why would they let her suffer, though? I mean, she was a devout Catholic. She was a good girl, you know, so why would they want her to suffer like that? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, with what she was diagnosed with, her epilepsy, all those symptoms are kind of the things that she was experiencing. The memory loss, the hallucinations, the seizures, which would create the convulsions in the body. But how do you explain her saying she had all of these demons inside of her and the names of these demons? That is what gets me the most. And why would she eat a spider? Like that, just, I don't know. This one kind of threw me for a loop. I'm familiar with this story. I do know the story. I just didn't know the details that well. But I personally think she was possessed. So tell me what you guys think down in the comments below, because I would love to hear your opinions on this story. It's such an iconic story, and I want to know what you guys think. But anyways, that is the story of the possession of Annaliese Michel. I hope you guys liked it, and I hope you guys like this makeup look. I kind of do, actually. I'm actually living for it. But once again, all the products that I used today will be in the description box. All my social links will be down there too. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss another video. I'm going to make this a definite habit because I love doing these stories. This is so much fun. But that is all I have for you guys today. I love you all, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!